Hi, thanks for joining me on Wilderness with Monty. I'm at the California Truckee and I'm here for satisfaction. I fished the Nevada Truckee for Wilderness with Monty on Patreon yesterday out off the McCarran Ranch Preserve. And I caught multiple fish, but I didn't get anything that was big to make me feel satisfied. So I'm kind of looking for something good today in the California Truckee for YouTube. And my date didn't go so well with the Nevada Truckee, so we'll see how her friend, the California Truckee, goes on a date with her today. So we'll go in and see how that all pans out. I got until about 1 o'clock to fish until it's gonna start raining, and then eventually at some point that's gonna turn into snow. And I got about an hour and a half to 2 hours before there's 20-mile-an-hour winds, and it's really gonna get cold. But I'm layered up so thick, I'm like Christmas Story, where I can barely put my arms down. And it's about 30 degrees right now. The winds are starting to pick up. It's gonna get real. I'm on a time limit. Let's flip the hourglass and see if I can get something good in the net. So I'm fishing about 2 miles up from the Nevada state line. I can't go into Nevada today because my license expired yesterday in Nevada. So I gotta get another license. That's kind of why I fished the Nevada Truckee for Patreon. I wanted one more day's use out of it. But as far as where I go on the river, I really don't care. I found that there's fish everywhere. I just have to play my game and use the right tactics to fit the conditions in front of me. Oh, here comes that wind, boy. It's blowing. So in this section, I'm gonna do a lot of cross current and try to get something that's hanging on that far bank to chase my jig out. And I'm casting short right now. I gotta get used to these gloves really quick, because as much as I don't like wearing gloves when I'm fishing, there really ain't no choice today, so what I like is irrelevant. There's a sluggish rainbow that came out. He wasn't too cold for this day. Yeah! That was quick. Wasn't the first cast, but I got him. And my success here, let me get this guy in the water while I get my gloves off. This is gonna be brutal. It's 30 degrees, man. My goal is to get it over there and then get the fish to follow it out. And they will, as this rainbow did. And this is a nice rainbow. That's a nice rainbow, but it's not enough to get me to go back to my heater in my house. Whoa, there he goes. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, there he goes. he had to realize he was back in the river for a second. All right, I'm gonna have to sit and thaw my hands out for a second, get my double layer gloves back on, because I am really cold right now. So I'll get back to you in a minute. So if I drop my jig 2-3 feet from the far shore, maybe I can get something, but I doubt it. So I have to take chances and fire it. It's hard for me to feel my cast and get the finesse going with these double layer gloves, the wind and the cold. But I'm just firing it, letting it go, because short is no good. Short is likely just to scare the fish and not catch the fish. So you got to get it right on top of them like that. All right, I've done what I can on this side. I think I'm gonna get to the other side and start going with the original plan. And I'm gonna try to give my hands a chance to thaw out, because I got double gloves on here. I got my regular fishing gloves under this other pair of gloves, but the exposed fingers are stinging right now and I can't feel anything in my thumb. I know I said I was gonna stop and walk across the other side, but I was casting a little short in this section right here, and now I got my casting down tight, where I'm dropping that thing like an inch from the other side. And I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm hightailing it up to this deep stretch over here. I like to fish for rainbows. Sometimes I get browns. But I gotta do it before it gets really windy. Because when you're fishing deep water and bouncing a jig on the bottom, the wind is not your friend, because you gotta be able to detect the strikes. The flow is down, and it is perfect for fishing this jig down deep. Because I can really bounce it on the bottom. I can feel the contact with the bottom and keep it at just above it. Because when it's really high flows, it's really tough to keep your jig down there because it's getting swept away so fast. But this is good. Rainbows come out to play. Rainbows come out to play. Those of you that are old enough to remember the movie The Warriors, which is just ridiculous. A ridiculous gang movie from the 70s. We'll recognize that. We'll recognize that. You got a bunch of so-called gang members talking like this. We're never gonna make it back to Coney. Just good at the time, but hilarious if you watch it now. I picked one up off the bottom. He's fishing that deep pattern, man. Deep and slow. There he is. He's jumping. He's jumping. He ain't happy. He doesn't want to be in this cold any more than I am. Yeah. He ain't huge, but I'll take anything on a morning like this. It's freezing. That's an all right brown. That fish, I got that on a cross current diagonal cast way out there, and he was holding right off that far side, and he picked it up. As soon as it got down deep and I started twitching it, he was on there. All right, I let my jig go under that big old boulder right there, and I was just jigging it back and forth. And finally this big rainbow came out and grabbed it. And I had it. I don't want him to jump. I got these barbless jigs going, but I barely felt him hit it. Barely felt it. There he is. That's a beauty right there. Let him sit in the net for a second. He's really vibrant. The water's cold. These fish are good. There he is in the net. There you go. That's an extraordinary rainbow trout right there. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Get him back in the water. There he. That was a great morning, and it's not even 10:30, and I'm already going home. My bologna and cheese sandwich that sucks when I made it last night gets desirably better as I get hungrier, but when I get home, I can throw it in the microwave at lunchtime for 30 seconds, and with a little barbecue sauce, it almost becomes something else. It's almost fantastic. So that was a great morning of fishing. It was really cold when I started. Once I was able to take my gloves off, I was really able to do a lot of the fine-tuned deep jigging. All the fish came on deep jigging today. Just bouncing it on the bottom. Made it through the whole day with this one beat-up jig. Loving that. I was making contact with the bottom, but I fish enough where I know when to draw the line. As long as there's no branches or anything, it's good. So when the water flows down like this, I can do a heck of a lot more with my jig in different situations, as I demonstrated today. And I was gonna go fish the Pitt River this week because I want to fish those rivers when the water's down, but it was raining. I didn't want to drive 2 hours and 45 minutes and have it be muddy. So that's gonna be a wrap on today, man. That rainbow is beautiful. Between the decent fish I got on Wilderness with the Monty Patreon yesterday in Nevada, And the fish I got today in the California Truckee, I didn't get anything huge, but I got a lot of solid fish, and I'm well satisfied with this week's fishing. That's gonna do it. I hope you enjoyed this chilly morning on the California Truckee. I gotta remember to bring my stuffed sack for my layers next time. I got everything packed in my pack and it's bursting at the seams. I gotta dig through all this stuff just to get to my water. If I can put it in a stuffed sack and strap it onto my pack, it's a lot better. I'm still getting ready for the cold weather fishing because there's gonna be a lot of it, and I'll have it down eventually. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. Until next time.